I'm so glad that this gathering is happening because veterans' mental health, but also just everyone's mental health is just increasingly struggling. And we are facing a mental health crisis unlike we've ever faced before, with a shortage of resources, access to therapists, of access to things people need so that they can really address what's going on. So I'm glad that Rachel was able to make this happen, and City Utilities is hosting this so that veterans can come to a place where some of the resources that they need are right there, and there's no shame in asking for help. It's ask for help so that you can live and so that you can thrive. It definitely takes a village to thrive, and it takes a village to heal. And during my personal journeys, I've had, I'm not a war veteran, but I give respect to veterans of all wars, without and within. And I have struggled with self-medication, which resulted in homelessness, which resulted in some psychiatric abuse, and repeated cycles of PTSD, and just struggling to stay alive. Days when I really wanted to end things, and if it was not for my small circle of friends that deeply cared about me, that checked in on me in the unlikeliest of moments, I would not be here. So now my work moving forward is to advocate for compassion in mental health care. And there's 3 points that I will continually talk about, because I find these things to be evident and eternally true. And the first is that loneliness is the cause and the sustainer of mental illness. It's because of loneliness that people have increasing rates of stress and anxiety. It increases your risk of stroke, heart disease, and increases your risk of suicide. And in people's desperate attempts to stay alive, they do desperate things, which includes self-medication, which includes just acts of desperation. And the unfortunate reality is that once they engage in such things, then they're ostracized even further by their communities. And so loneliness causes a lot of their problems, and then it sustains it. And sometimes people make the decision to end their lives because they feel lonely and like no one can relate, which is not true. There are people that care about you, that can relate, that have walked similar paths as yourself. And so if there's anyone out there that is struggling, that is wondering whether they should go on with this thing called life, I encourage you to please hang on. What you're going through may not make sense at the time, but I promise you that it will, and that there are people that care about you and that understand what you're going through. Reach out to them. The second point is that it takes a village to heal. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to thrive. City Utility, is a village of people that help the wider village. It takes all these resources in order to make a village. And it takes all these resources in order to heal, in terms of the gifts that other people can offer you. And the gifts don't have to be extravagant, The third point is that smallest gesture will make a difference. You likely know someone who's struggling, reach out to them, please, and reach out to them again and again and again. It was people that texted me during some of my darkest days that, they don't know how much they have helped to keep me alive, how they helped to keep me alive when I felt completely lonely and even felt like God wanted nothing to do with me. He sent these agents to just send me a text or call me real quick out of the blue, and that helped me to keep going one day at a time. So yeah, this is a wonderful gathering, and I'm very honored to be a part of this.